In this session, we are going to be learning basic routing in Laravel. And the most basic Laravel routes accept a URL and a closure, and providing a very simple and expressive method of defining routes. As you can see, by default, after creating your Laravel project, after creating your Laravel project, you will see you're gonna have here this function and this URL and this closure, in which we're gonna find this function which returns the welcome.blade.php page. We're gonna see how to create a Laravel file, and while creating a Laravel file, we're gonna find out more about it. And by default, as you can see here, we have the default root files. All Laravel routes are defined in your root files, and which are located in the root directory. And we're gonna see where the root file is located. We have a directory, a folder in our project, which is named routes. We're gonna see it after. And these files are automatically loaded by the framework while creating a project. This root file are automatically loaded by the framework in the directory, in the root directory. And the directory is roots, and the root/web.php file defines routes that are for your web interface. And this is the default web.php. This is the default root file that we are going to be using during our this course. Reason why you can see here, we have the root/web.php. This file, web.php file, defines routes that are for your web interface. And we are going to see more about this. Talk about Let us talk about basic routing in Laravel here, as you can see. And after opening our project, as you can see, we have basic lessons project here. We have our basic lessons here in our Visual Studio Code. And you can see we have all folders and files in our Laravel project. And you're gonna look here, we're gonna look for the root folders. As you can see, inside of your project, you're gonna find a folder which is named routes here. And if you click on this folder, you're gonna find several files, 4 files in your root files. But the default root files, the default root file that we are going to be using during this course is the web.php. This is the default root file, which is used for the web interface. And if you click on this web.php, you're gonna find we have our root here, our defined root here. As you can see, we have our root here. And as you can see, here we have routes that current get. Get is the type of information we are going to handle. If you want, for example, to view something, and we are going to be using the get function, as you can see. And here we have the URI, and inside here we have a function in which we return this page welcome. And as you can see, what means return view, and here we have welcome. The view function, as you can see here, refers us to the views folder, because if you remember, we were talking about the model view controller, and in the view concept we were talking about what we are going to display to view, for example, in our browser, the graphical representation. This is the view, and this view function refers us to a certain views folder which is in our project. And if you click on the resources here, just click on the resources, and if you click on the resources here, you're gonna find we have a views folder here. And if you click on views folder, you're gonna find this problem, and you're gonna find inside here we have welcome.blade.php, and that means if you put slash as URL, and you are going to return in the views folder the file name it welcome. And as you can see here we have welcome.blade.php. Once creating, for example, a Laravel file, you have first of all to put the name of your file, and after that you're gonna put the extension, and the extension of a Laravel file is .blade.php. And if I want, for example, to return this page, I have to come here in my routes. I'm gonna customize my URL, what I'm going to put in my browser, and inside of this function I'm gonna return the page that I want to view in my browser, on my browser. As you can see, we have returned the welcome.blade.php, reason why you can see welcome here. And if we click on welcome.blade.php, we're gonna find all information, all HTML code that we have here. And if I make some modification here, if I back here and I say, for example, Laravel, no, like this. If I say, for example, Laravel 111, and if I back and reload a page, you're gonna see I'm gonna get this modification here. My page is updated. Reason why we have here, this is our welcome.blade.php. Very simple and very easy. And let us close this page. And the reason why we have a web.php, this is the importance of routes. You're gonna customize your URL, and inside of your function you're gonna return the page that you want to view on your browser. Very simple and very clear. And we do not have only to return, for example, a certain page, but we can also return a simple text. For example, if I comment this return here, I'm gonna say, for example, I want to return, for example, a message. I'm gonna say return welcome, for example. I'm gonna say welcome to the Laravel project, to the Laravel 7.x project here. As you can see, welcome to the Laravel 7.x project. No, like this, please. To the Laravel project. I say only to the Laravel project. To the Laravel project, you're gonna put your same column here, and if I back here and I reload a page, basic lessons.test, I'm gonna get welcome to the Laravel project. And you can also return, for example, your text with some HTML properties. I'm gonna say, for example, I'm gonna return, for example, this text with the h1 tag property. I'm gonna say, for example, return like this, and if I back here and reload a page, I'm gonna get welcome to the Laravel project with these properties. Very simple and very clear. And for example, I said, for example, break. I want to break here. I'm gonna back here. I'm gonna reload a page. As you can see, you can return the text. You can return pages with all HTML properties. Very simple and very clear. And here, as you can see, this is the slash. That means if you put slash as URL, let us back here, and here after the basic lesson.test, this is our domain name, our virtual host. If you put basic lesson.test slash, that means you are going to return welcome to the Laravel project. It is the same thing if I put basic lesson.test. Even if I put basic lesson.test slash, the same thing, because as you can see, if I put slash here, I'm always redirected to the basic lessons.test, the same thing. But if I want, for example, to customize, to say, for example, I don't want to have slash, but I want to have home. And if I have home, if I have slash home, then return welcome to the Laravel project. And here I'm gonna copy all this. I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna pass slash home. I'm gonna press enter. I'm gonna get the same thing because I have just changed my URL, as you can see here. And if I remove, if I back, for example, and if I say put just basic lesson test slash here, page not found because we didn't yet customize it, and we didn't yet customize this type of URL slash. The slash does not exist. And if we remove this home here, and if you save, and then you're gonna reload a page, and make sure to have the autosave here, and that means if you update your codes, it will automatically update your codes. Otherwise, you're gonna tap the shortcut Control S in order to save. And as you can see, we have the same thing, very simple and very easy. And we're gonna customize another URL, and I'm gonna copy, for example, the same route here. I'm gonna pass here like this. I'm gonna say, for example, another. We're gonna say, for example, about, and here we're gonna say, for example, services, like this. And we have services, we have about, and here I'm gonna say, for example, welcome to the about page. I'm gonna say, for example, welcome to the about page, and here I'm gonna say welcome to the services page, and then I'm gonna save. And if I put / welcome to the Laravel project, and if I put / about, let us put about, and I'm gonna press enter, I'm gonna get welcome to the about page. And if I put services, and I'm gonna get welcome to the services page. Very simple and very clear. I think that it is very simple and very clear. There is no special thing on it. And here we are going to be talking also, for example, with the dynamic route in Laravel. And the desire is, for example, if I put /services, if I want, for example, to use the dynamic route, the dynamic route is the most of important lessons in the routes, in the basic routing. And you have to keep it in your minds. We are going to be using this notion in all our cars. And if you put, for example, / after the services, if you put / and you're gonna put the curly braces here, I'm gonna say, for example, name. And after that, I'm gonna add another curly braces here. I'm gonna say, for example, ID, and I have two parameters here. As you can see, here I have the name, and I have also the ID. And I have to take these two parameters, which is after the services, the /services, which is the URL. I'm gonna pass these two parameters here. I'm gonna say name. I'm gonna declare this parameter here in my function, and I'm gonna say ID, like this. And I'm going to bake, for example, on my page here. I'm gonna say, for example, and let us bake first of all. Let us bake here, and I'm gonna say, for example, once you say, for example, once you click, for example, you put, for example, these two parameters by setting your services URL. I'm gonna say, for example, my name is, and what is my name? My name is I'm gonna say here, and I'm gonna make some concatenation, and I'm gonna take this parameter, which is name, okay, and I'm gonna say, and my ID is, and I'm gonna say like this, my ID is, I'm gonna take this parameter, my ID is, and if I go back here, as you can see, let us keep it in your minds. Here I'm gonna say, for example, after services we have the first parameter. Here I'm gonna put, for example, my name. My name is nkele, and / here I'm gonna say, for example, my ID is, for example, 10. And if I press enter, you're gonna see I'm gonna get my name is nkele and my ID is 10. And this is what we call the dynamic route. You have your parameter here. You're gonna set, for example, your name. You're gonna set, for example, your ID. And here we have this. And I can change. For example, I can say, for example, my name is Paul. And my ID is blah blah blah, like this. And if I press enter, I'm gonna get like this. My name is Paul and my ID is 1 million. As you can see, very simple and very easy, and just keep it in mind. This is the more important, this is the most important, this is one of the most important lesson in the basic routing. This is the dynamic routes, and you can say, for example, I have only one parameter. For example, you're not obliged to put 2 parameters. As you can see here, I'm gonna remove this ID as parameter here. You are free, and I can say yes. Yes, I can say like this. And if I back here, I'm gonna remove the ID, and I'm gonna set, for example, only the name. I'm gonna say this is my name. I'm gonna get only my name is nkele, and this is the dynamic route. And the other thing we're gonna see here, we're gonna see how to import a template. For example, I have the about, index, and services templates. I'm gonna click on the index. As you can see here, I have the index page, and I have also the about page here. I have also the services page. And the desire is to import all this in our Laravel project, because we still have this file as the HTML file. So we need to take these files and import it in our Laravel project. And so this is what we're gonna do, because here, that's what we're gonna do, because here we don't have only to return, for example, if you're here, we're gonna return we don't have only to return some text, some messages. We can also return some pages. And then notice all files and folders that you are going to be creating in order to view this information in your browser, on a browser, must be included on the views folder. Do not forget it. And here, let us create a new folder. Then we're gonna call this folder pages. And inside of the pages folder, we are going to be creating 3 files. We have index.blade.php. I'm gonna press enter. I'm gonna create another file. I'm gonna say about.blade.php. I'm gonna create the third file. I'm gonna call this file services. Yes, services.blade.php, and I'm gonna press enter. And as you can see, I have already, yes, after opening our template here, as you can see, this is our template. This is the index.html, and I'm gonna copy all these codes and I'm gonna paste it in the index.blade.php. Notice, while you are creating your Laravel project, you have to put the name of your file and the index. The index is .blade.php, and here we don't have index.blade.php. I'm gonna pass all this here. I'm gonna save. Let us back here. We're gonna take for the about page. I'm gonna copy, and I'm gonna pass it to the about page. I'm gonna save, and I'm gonna come here to the services.html. I'm gonna copy, and I'm gonna pass it to the services.blade.php, and then I'm gonna save. And if I want to display, for example, the index.blade.php, the desire is, if I put /s URL, the desire is to return the index.blade.php. This is the desire. And here I'm gonna say, let us uncomment this, return view. The view refers us to this views folder, and the desire is to return the index.blade.php. And if you look at to the welcome.blade.php, the welcome.blade.php is directly inside of the views folder. Reason why, while returning the welcome.blade.php, we have only the view function, which refers to the views folder, and after that we have the welcome.blade.php inside here. But the index.blade.php is included in the pages folder, and the pages folder is included in the views folder. Reason why, if we want to return, for example, the index.blade.php, we have first of all to put view, return view, pages, like this, pages, and dot, you're gonna say here index, like this, because here we have the views folder, we have the pages, and the index is included in the pages, and the pages is included in the views folder. Very simple. And we are going to do the same thing. And about, you're gonna say, we are going to return here, we're gonna say about. Here we're gonna say services, like this, and I'm gonna save. I'm gonna back here, and no, not here, this is the template. We're gonna back to the template, and if we put slash, the result is to have the, yes, we have it, welcome to the Laravel project. This is for the index, and if we put slash about, like this, we're gonna get welcome to the about page. And if we put services, like this, we're gonna get services slash services, and you have to put the same thing here. We have, yes, let us remove our parameter here, because we have already talked about dynamic routes. Yes, like this, let us remove this, and back and reload the page, and you're gonna find we're gonna get welcome to the services page. Very simple and very clear, and we are going to continue to the next session.